morning.
Could still be there.
I feel like that.
More cowbell.
Oh, that's right.
More cowbell.
My turn. Oh, yes. What's the number? 389 is our gathering song. And so let's start here. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near.
Good morning. Welcome to all of you who have joined us here in person, as well as all of you who have joined us online, all one of you. Hi, Steph. Not to put you on the spot. My name's Brian. My pronouns are he, him, for those of you that may not know me. And I have a few announcements that I'd like to share with you before I open it up to the floor. Just a note to remind us that we say this I say this pretty much almost every Sunday, but we try to keep the service to an hour, but we don't hold any hostages, so if you have to leave, please do so. Don't feel compelled to thwart your schedule because of our oversight, if that happens. So, let's see. Also, today is what we call Rally Sunday. This is our traditional back to church Sunday, even though we've already been back to church. We take our Septembers very seriously in Minnesota, apparently, so we try to postpone it until the 1st of October, our first Sunday in October, so welcome. And we're going to talk a little bit about what rally originally meant and why I think it's important to revisit that in light of the hope that we aspire to instill in each other and in the world. So that's the pre-sermon. Now, I'd also like to solicit anybody who's interested in serving on the speaker planning team. Please feel free to see me or Carrie if you'd like to join the team that tries to connect with people outside to bring guest speakers into the church. It's a pretty interesting task, and we would love to have some help in case you'd be interested in serving on that team, not committee. Team. We have enough committees. That's all the announcements I have for today, so anybody else? Yes, please.
Council meeting is next Sunday, so if anybody's interested in attending that, you're all welcome to join us. It's a hoot.
It is.
A hoot and a holler, they say.
Yeah.
Others?
Go ahead. Go first. Okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows that they should look online under nokings.org to find a rally to go to on Saturday the 18th. I think there's one in Eagan, there's one in South St. Paul, West St. Paul. So I just encourage everybody, if you're upset with the current state of affairs, nokings.org, and you can search for an event to go to on the 18th.
And there's even one in Owatonna,
Nice.
which I intend on
Nice.
joining.
All over the place.
The last one in Owatonna was very surprisingly well attended. We had like 400 people
Nice.
in little Owatonna.
Nice.
Other announcements?
My chorus, Bella Lumina, is once again performing the suffrage cantata, which was a piece written about women's struggle for suffrage, for getting the vote. Anyway, we're going to be doing it at the Choir Directors Association annual conference in November, but they are selling tickets, and we will be performing first, and it's about a 45-minute piece with instrumental and narration, and it's quite powerful. And then the Apollo Men's Choir, which I think is huge and only 140 years old. They've been around for a long time. They're going to be performing after us. So, and just check with me for more information. I think I put a link in the newsletter.
Wonderful.
Want to talk about the common read?
I don't even know what to say. I haven't been able to figure out what to do with it.
Linda?
Okay.
The next Cuba Gallery exhibit is next Sunday, so I think it's usually the second Sunday from 1 to 4 on 6601 Auto Club Road. In the thing too, in the newsletter, but the theme for the upcoming, geez, I don't remember the title, but it's a woman who has created an exhibit on using food waste for pigment for painting. Yeah, should be very interesting, very much in line with stewardship and ecological minded and sustainability.
My chickens might object because they eat a lot of our table waste. But we could just
We won't tell
Different
them.
colors, so it's working.
Others? I would say that one announcement that I didn't put in that I was reminded of for some reason is that I know that it seems like the winter holidays are far away, especially with the weather that we've had recently, but indeed they are not. So if anybody is interested in helping out with our winter solstice service, it seems to be something that people are very interested in. It's a nice time to come together for a non-traditional sort of theme in fellowship. So Dawn is working on that currently, but we'd love to have other people involved, especially if you're interested in reading or singing or dancing. No, well, maybe. So see myself or Dawn if you'd like to be involved with the winter solstice service. All right, seeing none, with that I invite you to take a slow, deep, gentle breath and to exhale just as intentionally. And join me in meditating on this prelude. And now I invite you to join me in our opening words and the lighting of the chalice as we remain seated. Friends, today we gather on this Rally Sunday not only to return from summer's rhythms, but to remember the deeper meaning of the word rally.
To rally is to really, to stand again with those in need, to join again with those who seek justice, to align our lives once more with the earth herself.
In a time when the world shakes with injustice, when despair threatens to close its grip, we kindle hope together.
Hope that is not passive waiting, but active courage and steadfast love.
We are spokes in the great wheel of justice. Together we keep the wheel turning.
Together we keep the flame of justice alive, even with the tiniest glimmer of hope.
Therefore, we light this chalice as a beacon of that light of hope which pierces the depths of darkness.
Its flame reminds us that no darkness, no injustice, no despair can overcome the light of our shared love.
We light this community chalice of hope and say,
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers, to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy, to serve you, spirit of freedom, in the fullness of community.
You can do it.
I can go over and get a different candle.
There we go.
we all have hope. Please join us in our opening hymn, Maybe.
I can get another candle.
There's a metaphor in that somewhere. Our opening hymn is number 300, and you may rise as you are able and join us. I'm going to just play a couple bars because I think we know this one.
With heart and mind and voice and hand, may we this time and place transcend, to make our purpose understood. A mortal search for mortal good, a firm commitment to the goal of justice, freedom, peace for all. A mind that's free to seek the truth, a mind that's free in age and youth, to choose a path no threat impedes, wherever light of conscience leads. Our brothers as we could be, a church where every mind is free. A heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside.
You may be seated. Oh, I'm supposed to sing. I'm just trying to find a chalice. This is our beloved community moment time in the service, so I invite you to hear these words. Dear friends, we pause now to reaffirm our congregational commitment to work for justice for those who struggle with access to health care. Ours is a community bond bound not only by shared values, but by shared responsibility. We know that love is not love if it stops at words. It must take form in action in advocacy and compassion for those most vulnerable. Today, we take an intentional pause to reiterate our commitment to justice in that health care. We recognize the painful truth that too many in our nation and in our neighborhoods struggle to gain and keep access to the care that sustains life. The rising costs of medicine and treatment, compounded by political agendas, have placed a heavy burden on individuals and families who already carry way too much. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we declare that healthcare is not a privilege, it is a human right. We ally ourselves with those who are excluded, ignored, or priced out. We speak out against systems that place profit over people, and we lift our voices for compassion, equity, and care. May our work, our prayers, and our presence testify to this truth, that every body is worthy of healing, every life is worthy of dignity, and every community is stronger when all are cared for. This is our promise as beloved community, to keep showing up, to not give up, to keep rallying for justice, to keep our eyes on the light of hope we see around us and in each other, and to keep loving the world into wholeness. May it be so. This is the time during our service that we invite anybody in the congregation to come forward and light a candle and share a joy and or concern. Those of you online, if you would like to have a candle lit, please chime in and Chuck will do that for you, or somebody else will. And then at the end, I will light a final candle for all of the joys and concerns that remain unspoken.
I have one to do before Belle comes up, because I know she's got one here real quick, so she can come up here in a second. But I wanted to do a concern for our wonderful healthcare program as our beloved. The reason Steph is not here is due to withdrawal symptoms and getting back on medication that she didn't have due to the shortages of our wonderful programming going on right now. So it's a concern for that. And then Belle, did you want to come up? Mm-hmm. And light another candle? She'll come up so we can light another candle.
You stay here.
You want to light it? Yeah. So what's this candle for?
This is for my mom,
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
because yesterday we celebrated.
Yesterday we celebrated her birthday, which is actually on the 8th.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthdays.
This is a joy. I always enjoy the water communion service, which I missed last week, but we were in water. We were in the Atlantic Ocean. Well, not in it, but near it on the beach. Exactly 1 week ago today, we were staying in Williamsburg and went down to Virginia Beach for the Neptune Art Festival. And we were also in Yorktown and Jamestown and Richmond and had a wonderful vacation. This is also a candle for Doug, who passed 2 months ago today. Well, continuing a vacation theme, last week at this time, Keith and I were attending church at the Old Ship Church in Hingham, Massachusetts. A congregation that is still going. My ancestor started it in 1635. The building dates from 1681. Wow. And talk about just sitting there feeling continuity and community coming together and staying together for 400 years.
Wow.
Almost 400.
Unitarian?
Unitarian.
Nice.
That's cool. That's cool.
Probably.
That's okay.
Well, this is sort of vacation related. If you know the author, children's book writer Nancy Carlson, she invited me up to her studio in Hovland to be part of the Art Along the Lake for 10 days, although I didn't stay there for 10 days. I wish I could have. But she was so gracious and kind and generous to let me do that, to come and be in her studio. And the sale went really well. And there's just today's the last day, so it's just a candle for Nancy. She's a great person.
This is for our neighbor Rich and his wife Joanne. They live next door to us, and Rich passed away this week.
Well, I'm going to light this candle for two reasons. One is in honor of Jane Goodall. Anybody who knows me knows of my love for animals, and so of course she has always been a great inspiration. Sigourney Weaver not too far behind. And then also I like this candle with joy that Josh is able not to work today and come to church. Sorry, had to put you on the spot. And now I light a final candle for all the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. May we know that whatever befalls us in life, we are held in the loving embrace of this community. And we say together for all of the joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken, we hold you in our hearts and never give up.
Yes.
If the light goes out, change the candle. That should have been my presentation title. See?
Next year.
Next year. See us for Rally Sunday 2026. All right. I was like, this looks blurry. All right. That could be its own sermon. This is a reading that I have admittedly used before in many places and many times from one of my favorite authors of all time. Many of you have probably heard the name or know the works that she has been involved in, and also the life of service that she has lived. This is an excerpt from Anything We Love Can Be Saved by Alice Walker. Activism is my rent for living on this planet. It is the way I remember what it means to be alive, to join myself with others in the great work of healing, to give back something of what has been given to me. It springs from the knowledge that I am not alone, that my small voice is joined to a greater chorus, that I am part of a long line of people who have struggled, resisted, spoken out, and created beauty in the midst of suffering. I do not claim extraordinary power. I only claim the power of showing up, of lending my heart, my hands, my breath to the possibility of a more just and loving world. This, to me, is the practice of hope. It is how I honor the generations before me and how I prepare the ground for those yet to come. I almost wanted to say, thus ends the lesson. So, I'm going to dispense with these. Rally Sunday has long been a tradition in many congregations, and in some places and sometimes it is a time of just remembering how important it is to come together and be together. But what I was inspired to do was to do two things. One, kind of give sort of an annual revisit to where we are, but also to look at the word rally, because I was actually honestly interested in it, knowing where the word comes from. So that's where I got this whole idea. And I didn't realize that it comes from the adage of to re-ally. And I never really had thought about it that way because, being, an activist sort of person, I always thought of rally as just getting together and doing what we need to do to get things done and to work for justice as much as we can. But the idea of it being re-ally with people and with the earth is something that's thought-provoking. But before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about hope and where we are in this great scheme of things that we call church life. So as I was looking this week at where we've been and where we are and thinking about where we could possibly be going, I was in conversation with Jim about some statistics. Now, it's not unusual for me to always say that statistics are something that elude me, but I think statistics are somewhat important. And so I think that Dan has even made some slides to help me with this as well. So let's just look and see where hope lies within our congregation. And so what I would like to do is first of all look at our membership over the course of the years. So this begins in 2001 and we're in 2005. So while there have been...
25.
Oh, sorry. I'm only a little behind. 2000, I shouldn't have taken those reading glasses off. 2025, our membership has come and gone over time, but I want to look at this graph and realize that it's never been zero. That's important to me. It's never been zero. It should be important to you. Because when we get to some statistics in a second about the UU in general, I think that it's important to understand that small though we may be, big things come in small packages. And as I am always saying, this congregation has so much love and so much passion for those things that we believe in are right and that we believe need to be fought for in the world. And in the very essence of it is loving one another and accepting each other and realizing that we're better together. So, looking back at the membership, I just wanted to point that out. I wasn't a part of most of this. I've only been here for a couple years. But it is important, I think, to look back and say, this has never been zero. Okay, next slide. Now let's look at the national scene. It is no secret throughout our national research in Christian congregations that Christianity itself is dying, at least in the forms that we have seen. There is no growth. Generally, even in the evangelical church, there is no net growth. In Christianity, churches are closing left and right, and there are a myriad of reasons for that. But it disappeared. See, that's why I don't like statistics. They just disappeared. No. But I want to see that the Unitarian Universalist denomination is the only mainline denomination in the United States that has actually grown. That's another really important facet of reality. And while the numbers are not large, big things come in small packages. This means there are over 150,000 people in the United States that hold dear the values that we hold dear. And we're growing. That is fascinating. And I think that one of the pieces of growth that we see a lot is because people are justifiably upset about a lot of the things that are going on in our nation around the world. And one of the pieces of strength that people find is in a faith community coming together and loving one another, but also doing something about it. Because love isn't love until you give it away. I know we've all heard that before. But I try to live that. And there are other slides, right? Oh, and so not only have we not had a zero membership in the last 20 years, But look at the attendance over the last 3 years. Now, this is not me like trying to be boastful of myself, even though I have been here all of these years. I don't want to be one of those people. But I think that this is important as well because we mirror a lot of what's going on in the National Unitarian Universalist Association and the growth in our version of progressive community. And so I see in these statistics the essence of hope. Thanks, Dan. Well, that's enough statistics. My brain is burning. I can't even see them. Now, at the risk of doing another one of those shameless plugs, if you haven't had a chance to read my recent blog post, I talked about something I said earlier in September about hope, the name of our baby rabbit that emerged from the ground after we thought all was lost. So I offer that blog to you if you want to go know more about how I feel about that. But hope is something that isn't just there. Hope is something that we embody. It is a choice. Just like living in joy, which is a whole other presentation later on. Living in joy is a choice. But seeing, finding, discovering, uncovering hope, even in the darkest of times, is a choice. It is the way we look at things. It is what we hold dear that helps us seek hope and then to embody it. And just like love isn't love until you give it away, hope is not something that is completely effective until we share that with one another and with the world. Which brings me to the real big point of my research on the word rally. Because I have to be honest, Rally Sunday always sounded really weird to me because it's like, okay, what are we rallying for? But I think that we are rallying for something. We are a congregation that believes that the people and the earth, by the way, but people who are suffering at the hand of others and of just reality are people who are deserving of dignity and worth. People who are deserving of love, and certainly people who are deserving to see the hope that we have in our hearts. We can make the difference just by believing in hope and sharing it with one another and with the wider community. To re-ally means to reaffirm how we are allies with the people who are the most at risk of losing life. People who are most at risk of losing their health care, who are most at risk of losing their civil rights, their rights to their own bodies, and to make decisions about their own bodies. So, for me, Rally Sunday is not just to come together and say, oh, summer's over, let's get together and do church year, which is why it was always weird to me. But I can proudly say in this kind of religious community that it means something more than just getting together. It means that we have in our hearts something that people need. We need it, and we come together because we want to share it with one another and hold each other up, because believe me, as we've talked about a lot, some of us get up every morning and say, okay, what happened today? So it's important for us to come together to hold each other up. But that's not the end of Rally Sunday. For me, my impetus for doing what I do, not only as a minister, but also as a professor, and certainly as a regenerative farmer, is to work to understand what it really means to be an ally. Not just of people, but also to the earth. I don't know a lot of people who have such a commitment to doing what is hopeful, what is right in the eyes of being an ally than this congregation. To look at people and say, no matter who you are, no matter where you are on life's journey, you're welcome here and you can be a part of this community. That's what gives us the understanding of why the UUA is the only mainline denomination that's actually growing in the United States. I believe people are attracted to that. And look, we don't even have to go out and be evangelical, even though I know Megan tried. Alice isn't here to grumble at that, so we miss you, Alice. Hope you feel better. But I always re-envision evangelism in light of what that word also means, because most people don't know that it comes from a German word, evangelich. I can't speak German, so don't hold me to that. But it's somewhere around there, and it just means to bring good news. And we have good news. There are people here that love with reckless abandon. There are people here in this midst who accept people for who they are, no matter what their pronouns are, no matter what their identities are, no matter who they love, no matter how they love, no matter what color their skin is, no matter what ability level they have. All of those things ring true with the people that I see around here. The people that I love. The people that I choose to come and share hope with. As we embark on the rest of this church year, what my hope is that I want us to continue to search for new ways to share the hope that is so important to all of us. Because, as my blog said, it's a double entendre, my little rabbit named Hope, the title of it's Peekaboo, Hope, is that you? Because it only takes one spark, there's that song again, to get a fire going. It only takes one tiny glimmer of light to pierce the darkness. And one of the posters that I used to have in my classroom when I was a teacher was, envision this, it was a little frog that was holding onto the throat of a water bird, and it said, "Don't give up," even though the bird was trying to swallow the frog. Never give up. If the light goes out, get another candle. If somebody else's light goes out, light their candle. If people are feeling as if the world is closing in on them, open the world to them. That's what we do. That's why we're here. No matter what our attendance is, no matter how little or much we grow in number, as has always been my commitment, ever since I was ordained back when the earth cooled, is that no matter what, it's our growth, not numerical growth, even though I dared to show statistics. It's the growth of each of us that then spawns the growth of everyone else around us. People need hope. I'm going to do it. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. I mean, I had to. So as we move forward in this church year, again, what I would just like to say as I wind this down, I don't have a lot of answers, because I don't think it's up to me to have a lot of answers. I think it's up to us to come up with ways of approaching answers. And what my hope is in this church year is for us to continue to invite people into our midst who are not like us, to spread the word in the least evangelical way as possible about the hope that we have for humanity and for the earth and the work that we're doing. Hey, come be a part of us. Not because we all agree on everything and not because we all have the same religious philosophies or non-religious philosophies, but because we love one another and we believe in hope. Let's find ways to invite people in to speak. Again, shameless plug if you want to join the speaker committee, team, sorry. Invite people in that we've never heard from before. Invite people in that we may not actually agree with. What if somebody of a different political party walks through that door? How are we going to act? Are we going to still embody that love and hope? I believe we will, because the light continues to shine from our hearts, from our minds. And so my challenge is to continue. Don't give up. As one of my kindergarten gifted kids says, don't never give up. Let's find hope. Not just in statistics, but let's find hope within us, in this community, and let's foster more and more hope in the world, even when we feel like there's not much else to have. Because that's all we need. It takes only one spark. Let's be the spark. May it be so.
When trees are turning, chimney smoke is curling, fallen leaves are swirling, I'll be coming home. When geese are wending, apple branches bending, when the summer's ending, I'll be coming home. When autumn's first frost glistens on the corn stalks, the bales of hay and sweet squash, I'll be coming home. And hill and meadow, a crimson rust and yellow, when fruits of August mellow, I'll be coming home. And rest will greet me, love will receive me, joy like a deep red wine fill my heart. And rest will greet me, love will receive me, joy like a deep red wine fill my heart. I have been trotting the furrowed fields of summer, footsteps heavy under the seeds I've come to sow. When some has sprouted and I have hoped and doubted, and every bushel's counted, I'll be coming home. And rest will greet me, love will receive me, joy like a deep red wine fill my heart. And rest will greet me, love will receive me, joy like a deep red wine fill my heart.
So this is our time set aside for beginning the reflection that will continue later on retreats.
Really appreciated your thoughts, and one thing that keeps kind of spinning in my head is, for those of you, well, you all know, I've been here a while. And there have been times when we've thought that maybe this is it, maybe this is time to call it quits. And then something happened. And if we would have quit, we wouldn't have gotten to that next step like you talked about growing. And being that light in the community. And I've also read recently Timothy Snyder's book on liberty and, no, on tyranny. And the first rule about addressing tyranny is don't obey in advance. You know, you gotta stand up to the injustice that we're seeing. And the thought of giving up, to me, is an indication of my privilege. I have the choice to give up right now, but I may not have the choice to give up later.
As has been said many times, if the Supreme Court hasn't decided your rights, then you probably have privilege. And even if they have decided some of your rights, or against some of your rights, there are people that are less privileged.
I have a friend who is almost bedridden, so she spends a lot of time watching YouTube and calling me to tell me what I need to watch on YouTube. And she called the other night, and she was very upset. And she wanted me to watch a YouTube that spelled out what's going on and who's responsible, who is actually behind what's going on. And it was very, very, very depressing, everything that she was saying. And I'm sure what she had learned is probably true. But today's service and today's sermon was exactly what I needed to hear after talking to her, because I was pretty low. And I didn't watch the YouTube because I thought I'll come commit suicide. So thank you so much for this service and sermon.
So the other thing is, of course, my mind right now, because what I've been doing most of my days is rally, go hold a sign in the middle of the street. But we also have to remember, the other definition for rally is to start to feel better, like if somebody's sick and they rally, So, we come together so that we can, we haven't seen each other over the summer, and we our stores of goodness may deplete a little, and we rally by coming together and reinforcing one another.
Awesome.
So true.
Byron and I were at a gathering of our friends over out in Minnetonka by another gal, it's a big book club, or now book club. And she hired this home we were at. She hires a lot of Hispanics, and this was a big birthday party for them, and I have to just speak to their bravery, because we had the Mexican band, they sang in Mexican and Hispanic, and the cooking, it was a party for them, for all that they do for her. She hires them, and just the bravery to show up when anyone could have called ICE from any of the neighbors, but here they were out having a party and having a good time. I felt nobody called Nice.
We have neighbors who moved in who are Hispanic, and every once in a while when we go there, so nice, they'll put a big tent in their driveway and they have music and I worry about them all the time. I don't know them, I don't speak Spanish, I hear them over there speaking Spanish. I'd love to get to know them, but I do worry about them.
Going on the rallying in Chicago, there's a group of, I think it's up to 5 tow truck companies now that are following around certain groups' cars, and when they get out to do something, if they're parked illegally, they just tow them, bring them to an impound lot, and then get their names and stuff when they're trying to get their vehicles back out of impound. There's 5 of them rallying together, companies that are just, you park illegally and think you can, we're gonna tow you, and then,
Yeah.
so, all of the wonderful agents that are doing things they shouldn't be, are getting their vehicles towed because they think they're above the law and can illegally park in Chicago.
Interesting.
Always new ways to reimagine hope.
Protest.
Protest with tow truck drivers.
Well, certainly this is only the beginning of our reflection, and again, as we move through the church year and we plan our services and our activities for this year, these will continue to be parts of our conversations, and they will continue to, I hope, put that foundation even stronger down for us to continue to move forward and do what we do, come together, support each other, rally together here to bring solace to our group who is working so hard to be a beacon of hope, and then to find ways to bring it out from here and take it to the world. So, with that, I'll invite you to join us in our closing hymn, which is hymn number 170.
I'll play a short intro and
Please rise as you are able.
we are with There we go, it's here. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and
As we go forth then from this place together, of course, after treats, I once again remind you that hope is the thing that we're keeping alive here. And not just here, but throughout the world. Even as small as we think we are. So let us go forth, working as hard as we can to kindle and to sustain the spark of hope for all we meet and all we work with. You may be seated. The inspiration for this little postlude is the other morning I got up and I was grumbling because I had to go and do something that I didn't want to do my taxes. And so I saw this beautiful, small herd of deer drinking from the pond on our property. So this is a song called As the Deer, which actually comes from a psalm in the Hebrew Bible. And since we're in that time of the year of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, I felt that this would be something appropriate to share with our Judeo-Christian heritage. And now may we eat treats.
Musical selections today.
Yeah, I want to thank Bryan for playing.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, very